Okay, do you want to go ahead?
Hey everyone, welcome to a new podcast called
Taking the Trash
with Ishway
and Yibing.
So we're just going to be talking about trash TV here.
All the reality shows that you wished you watched but never had time to because you were too embarrassed.
Or you watch them and you want to listen to other people talk about it, which is what I do. So we're going to talk about Singles Inferno, Season 2, Episodes 1 and 2 today.
Yes. And today our focus is going to be on introducing all of the cast, all the women and men that are in the show right now.
So for those of you who are not familiar with Singles Inferno, it is a Korean reality television show. And season 1 came out earlier this year, I think, and it was so good, but cut short by COVID. So I'm so glad they're back with season 2. Yay! And then, Yibing, do you want to explain the premise a little bit more?
Yeah, so Singles Inferno is about all of these really hot Korean men and Korean women who are put onto this one single island where they don't have access to their phones or internet and have to spend the day talking to each other, making their own food. They have to get their own water. And if they find a connection with each other, then they can go to this really fancy quote-unquote paradise where they can spend a night together at a hotel with actual incredible food and actually to get to know each other.
Yes, and the two rules are that you can't talk about your occupation or your age before you get to paradise. But once you get to paradise, you can talk about anything. Mm-hmm. So it's also kind of like they try to guess what each other does and how old they are. So that's another kind of like fun aspect of it. Okay, so let's go ahead. We figured we'd just start off talking about some of the characters that are in the first episode. So the first person to come in with Silky. Mm-hmm. And what did you think when you saw her?
So when I saw her, I thought she was really adorable. I thought she was kind of like very stereotypically Korean was what I thought when she came down.
And that's okay. So another part of the show, which I think Korean shows maybe have this more often, is they have commentators as part of the show itself, and I love them. They're basically like us, but obviously better. And they like share their thoughts on the show. And when Seulgi came out, they were like, "Oh my god, she's like so classically Korean," which is like, yes, yeah, definitely. And she came out in this like blue and white dress. It was like very like something you could wear to brunch, I think. It was very cute. Not totally my style, but good for her. Yeah.
I thought it was adorable because she said something along the lines that her best feature are her eyes. And somebody said that like her eyes sparkle. And I swear when they showed that video of her smiling, I was like, oh, her eyes actually do sparkle. She does have beautiful eyes.
Yeah. And also at the beginning, they like interview them. And what she said is that she seems cold and snobbish, which I was kind of shocked at because I don't think she came across that way at all.
I don't think so either.
So I'm not really sure. I also wrote that she said she was a foodie at one point, which is great. Oh, and she's left-handed.
Yeah, we saw that in episode 2. That was amazing.
Yeah. I love people who are left-handed. Extra points. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're just cool. Anyways, so the second girl who came out, or second person, was Park Sejong. I hope I'm saying these people's name right. What did you think about her?
Okay, so when I saw her, I really thought that was a direct, like, opposite from the first girl, Seulgi. When she came down, she was a little bit more tan. She kind of had, like, a more American look when I saw her. And she was wearing this really skin-tight, I think it was a green dress, and it looked gorgeous on her. And I thought she looked amazing, but it was a different style than Seulgi for sure.
Okay, yeah, maybe it's because she's more American and I'm like used to American, but I loved how she looked. I thought she looked great. I loved her dress. You're right. It was like a sparkly, maybe green dress that was pretty skin tight. And then in her intro, she said that she wanted someone as sexy as her, which I thought was hilarious.
No, you know what? When she first came down, the thing that I wrote in my notebook is like sexy. She looked really sexy.
Yeah. Yeah, so I like how she looks a lot. What else? I also think she's really good at flirting.
Yes, I think she's like really straightforward. She's really good at flirting. And when she's with another girl and like one guy, like if they're in like a trio situation, I feel like she is so much better than flirting than other girls that she'll talk to the guy and then the other girl will be the third wheel.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed.
That's what's happened. And we can talk more about the love triangles like a little bit more, but I agree. I don't really know who came out next. So we just go through all the girls first?
Yeah, we can go through the girls first.
Okay, so next is Lee So-yi. Lee So-yi, hope I'm saying that right. What did you think about her?
For her, I thought she was really adorable. She's really short. She's maybe about 5'2", around the same height that I am. And I kind of just relate to her because she's really shy. She's really adorable. Her eyes become like a crescent shape when she smiles. And she's a little bit awkward and doesn't like approach the guys very like directly in the beginning. So I can see that she's been like third wheeling a bit and is having some trouble with that. But I think overall she's really adorable.
Yeah, so they showed her dancing, remember at the beginning?
Yes, and I was really shocked
Me
that
too.
her personality is actually like super shy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when she was dancing, she was super confident and stuff, and I thought that would translate into her personality.
Yeah, I was shocked also because she was wearing, I would say, more like covered loose dresses compared to the other girls. And so when they showed her like hip hop dancing, I was like, oh my God, what? It was like out of left field. But I think her personality is very relatable for sure. As one of the guys mentioned, like most of the girls are quite outgoing, which I agreed with. Like she's like the only one I feel like who's like shy and awkward. Well, her and I think Nadine, but the other ones are quite outgoing.
I agree. And I think that she is probably even more introvert than Nadine. And we'll get to Nadine a little bit later.
Yeah, speaking of Nadine, she's next. Lee Nadine. Okay, so I love her because I don't know why. I think obviously she spoke English and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I didn't know that I would like her that much because she kind of said that what did she say? She said that she came up, she was like cold and direct. And I was like, not the best, like, I don't know that I would automatically be friends with someone who described themselves that way. But I found her to be very endearing. Like, she laughs a lot. Like, even when she only spoke a few words of Korean, she would, like, giggle and laugh. And I thought that was super, super cute.
I thought all of the funny moments were with her.
Yes.
Because she strikes me as, like, she grew up probably in America and probably went to school here, knows some Korean, but is not very good at it. So she would respond to people's questions in really short phrases. And sometimes they would talk to her, but she wouldn't realize that they were talking to her.
Oh my God, that was so cute.
So she would pause for a bit and she would, like, turn around and be like, huh, me? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Literally.
And,
who was that? Was that Dongwoo who asked her a question
so
at the
one
beginning?
of the other guys, Dongwoo, and we'll get to him, but he would kind of ask her questions. And one time he was like, oh, how was your trip over here? And she was like, oh, me? Yeah, it's good.
It's
and
so
then
cute.
And then another time he was like, do you like to walk? And she's like, yeah.
So true. Oh my God. And she was like peeling the peel off the potatoes weird. And he was like, you make me want to help you with that. And she's like, huh? Because I guess she was doing it wrong.
Yeah.
But I wrote unaware, but like in such an endearing way.
I feel like she's like a cute clueless, but like in a way where you just want to like help her.
And I also love her look. Like, I think she's so pretty and I like her style.
I think she has a very unique look that I haven't
definitely. Seen before. And she definitely like grew up in America. Also, I'm no Korean, but I wonder if she has an American accent when she speaks Korean. Like, I don't know. But I'm very curious. Okay, our last girl is Choi Seung. I don't know if I'm saying it right. What do you think about her? She came out in a white dress that was like almost a shirt dress, but then tight and fitted.
Yeah, so she was the last girl to come out, and maybe it's because she's last girl and she's also really gorgeous. But when she came out, there was a collective gasp from all of the guys.
And me.
Yeah. And the thing is, when she came down, she was walking down the stairs, and then she looked upwards, put one of her hair strands behind her ear, and smiled. And then I was like, oh my gosh, her smile is gorgeous.
I know. I think she's so pretty. And I literally, like, love her dress. I think I texted you when I saw her, and I was like, wow. That's when I was like, I love the dresses on the show.
Yeah. And she strikes me as someone who's really mature. I think she's probably one of the girls that are older.
That's what I was thinking too.
Cast. She's got like a good head on her shoulders, and I really like her voice. She has like a low voice.
Yeah.
And I think she's just like very mature and knows what she wants.
Yeah, and she said that she was really good. She said she was, like, natural and really good at putting people at ease, which I totally agree with. Because, like, whoever she's talking to, like, whenever they're cooking, she'll be like, oh, let me help you with that. Or she'll just, like, laugh. She laughed at that one guy's joke, I think, which wasn't a joke.
It wasn't
like,
that
the green
funny.
sweater. The commentators were like, wow, they find everything really amusing.
Yeah.
And I died because they're right. It wasn't funny at all. But I really like her. She's honestly one of my favorites, period. She also is the one who, like, meditates and does, like, the paddle boarding.
Oh, I was so impressed.
Yeah.
She was doing, like, yoga or something on the paddleboard in the middle of, like, an ocean.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is insane.
Yeah, she's really cool. Okay, so we have 5 girls, and those are the 5 girls. Do we want to talk about who are your personal faves?
So my favorites right now, I really like Choi So-eun and Nadine.
Oh my god, same!
Those two are my favorites right now.
Me too. I just don't love, like, Silky, I can see she's endearing. She's also, like, quite cute. But I don't love her right now. Not a top fave.
I just remember when Sulky, everything was so awkward in the beginning. Everybody like sitting down. And there was one scene where she just like kept smiling. I know. But it looked really forced. I know that she didn't want to smile, but she was smiling. And I was like, girl, just like put down the smile. It's awkward. It's fine. You don't have to keep smiling.
Okay, the beginning scenes are so awkward. It's not like in American shows or even like UK shows or literally any other country's shows where people like come in, introduce themselves, make small talk. No. They come in, they sit down across from each other and don't say a single word. A single word.
They don't even introduce themselves.
No! It's so... There's only one person who, like, made any type of small talk, and we'll get to him. He was honestly one of my faves. Kim Han-bin, I think, was the only one. Yeah. Everyone was so awkward. I was like, I'm dying. I'm dying here.
But that's what's endearing about it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great because everyone is so awkward. Whereas all of the American reality TV shows, they just get right into it.
Yeah. I do love the cultural aspect of the show too, because it's like more interesting to watch a different culture. So, okay. So of the guys, the first one I have on the list is Choi Jun-woo. Okay, so he said he's like really athletic. I mean, they all say they're really athletic, so that does not make anyone stand out.
No, it doesn't.
He was like, I think he played soccer competitively.
Yeah, that's what I remember too.
He literally also said that he never dated anyone he's really liked. And I was like, what does that mean? That means you've dated people you don't like? He also said he went on the show because he went to like a fortune teller / monk, and the monk said that he would like find someone on the show. Yeah. Which I thought was really interesting. He also said he will go after who he likes and work really hard to win their affection, which is so interesting that you could like, the idea that you can like work hard to like make someone like you, but yeah.
I disagree with that.
Same.
And I've seen not just him, but I think one or two of the girls have also said the same thing. Specifically, So-e.
Yeah, she did say that.
She said that like she's very persistent and you know she'll just keep trying. And I personally disagree with that stance.
I know, and then I was like, is this a cultural thing? Because even with the guys, like Han Bing also said that. He was like, I just need to work harder. It's very interesting.
It is very interesting.
I mean, the concept is very Asian.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about romance, but my dad always says to work harder for like other things, you know what I mean?
I guess to like work hard in your studies and work hard at romance, you know, same skills.
I know. And then he also sat next to Silky. So this was at the very beginning. I think he was the first guy to come out, and he could either sit by Silky or Sejun because they were sitting opposite each other, and he like sat by Silky. And he's also left-handed, just like Silky.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. I think he came down, and I think he was immediately more attracted to Silky and sat next to her.
That is what he
I think he had to make like a split-second decision. It was like, boom.
Yeah, well, they're very different types, as you said.
I agree,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about him. I don't really. What's his personality? I don't know.
So I don't think we know enough yet about him because he hasn't like been striking conversations with the girls as much. So he hasn't been an active player so far.
I agree. Okay, next up, Jo Yoon Jae. So he, I literally wrote not an athlete, LOL.
No, that's hilarious. Yeah, because it's really funny. So Jo Yoon Jae, there was a scene in the first 2 episodes where they wake up in the morning. You see 3 of the 4 guys working out really hard, and then Yoon Jae is just like walking around with his like paper that he's reading. And I thought that was great. And I was like, oh yeah, this guy isn't like working out. I love that.
Oh my god, you were right. That is so funny. He is just hilarious. Okay, so you know what was interesting is when they're like, oh, what are you looking for in a girl? And he said wisdom. And I was like, interesting.
It is interesting. Not a lot of people would say that.
No. I don't, yeah. And then another thing, is he is the one who helped Sejong take out her splinter. And he's the one who helped start the fire. Yeah. And I realized this when I rewatched it. I was like, oh, he did a lot more than like I remembered him doing.
Yeah. I'm still convinced that Splinter is not real. I don't know.
Really? I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, well, maybe it could be real, it could be fake. I'm not sure. But I just remember watching that scene and she stopped and she had a splinter. And then Yoon Jae comes over, just like barely touches her feet a little bit. And she's like, oh, it's gone now.
I know. I mean, it was probably just like a rock.
Maybe, yeah.
And then Kim Hanbin, I don't know how to say it. Mm-hmm. So he says that he's like a positive energy. He's the only person who made any attempt at small talk at the beginning. And I really liked him. I thought he was very funny. He's the one who's like a tour guide when they were walking on the island. Yeah.
I think that also worked to his disadvantage though, because I noticed because he was a tour guide, so he was in a trio with another guy and a girl, and they were kind of walking around the island to try to check it out. And because he was acting like the tour guy, he gave the other 2 a really good chance to just talk to each other and mingle while he was just walking in front of them.
Okay, wait, who was he in the trio with?
So, I have to think about this.
That's okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, I wrote it right here. They were in a trio with, he was in a trio with Dongwoo and Nadine.
Yes, yeah. But it was like not only that time, but it was like other times too with other groups of people.
Yeah. Yeah. I get what you mean. I think he didn't try to make any like attempt to get to know any particular girl. Mm-hmm. Which he maybe should have. Yeah. He was like I think he spent too much time trying to help out the group as a whole.
Yeah, and I think like he's a really nice guy, but I think he is also a little bit more awkward in terms of getting girls or like talking to them, or he might be a little bit more introverted.
Yeah, I get that. He also said that he lives alone and he cooks. He's like the one who cooks. And that's like a curse on the show because last season there was like an amazing guy who like helped everyone out and was like really good at cooking and nobody liked him.
Exactly. But I'm so shocked because I would be jumping for the guy who's cooking.
But that's why I think these people are like younger.
Yeah.
So they don't care.
Yeah.
So maybe he's older, and that's why he knows how to cook, and none of the other guys know how to cook.
Yeah, if he's like living alone and he can be self-sufficient and cook for himself, I think he's probably on the older side.
I agree. Yeah. Okay, and the last guy is Shin Dong-woo, who was in the trio with Nadine and Hanbin, the other guy. Okay. This guy, okay, I can't take him seriously because literally, what is with this little thing on the side of his like haircut? Did you notice that? It's like super sharp, and he reminds me of a Star Wars character because of that.
Oh yeah, I can see what you're saying.
I drew it out for you. In case
Yeah,
you can't see.
Yeah. I think I know what you're saying. That didn't really stick out to me as much.
Really?
No.
It's like all I could look at. Anyways, what do you think about him?
I think he strikes me as a guy, because he mentioned this when he was talking to Nadine and how he felt about Nadine, that he just really wants to protect her. And I think that he has this type of persona where he like wants to be the guy in the relationship, wants to protect whoever his girlfriend is. I can kind of see that type of energy with him.
I thought him and Nadine were so cute together. So he like also was a really good conversationalist. So the way the show is edited, you don't obviously see all the conversations everyone has, but then in some of the backlog, I don't know, they like go back sometimes, and then he's a really good conversationalist, not just with Nadine, but like other girls. Like he talks to them. So I thought that was really good. And he said he likes Nadine, but he wants to get to know Silky more.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Oh my god. Okay, so should we talk about who likes who?
Yes.
Okay.
There's so many love trios, love triangles.
I know. How do we even start?
So we'll start with Sulky. So I think Sulky right now is most interested in Dongwoo. Mm-hmm. And Nadine is really interested in Dongwoo too. So two girls are vying for Dongwoo's attention.
Yeah. And Silky and Nadine, I think, gave Dongwoo their postcard. And so they get a chance to send a postcard, which is just like, I don't know what it means. Honestly, it doesn't mean anything.
I think it just means that like they've piqued your interest a little bit.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with Paradise, though.
No.
Yeah, so they both really like Dongwoo, which I was kind of shocked by. But then I guess I saw the clips of him talking with them, and it made more sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, what else?
So the other one that was really, really apparent was Sejong. She really likes Youngjae, and that was pretty clear from the get-go. They were put in a trio together. He was the one who helped her with the splinter, and she sent a postcard to him saying, like, thank you for taking out the splinter. So it was really clear that it was her, and she made her like towards him very apparent to him.
They are so cute together. I totally ship them. Yoonjae and Sejun, because they're just so cute when they were talking about like their vacations.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And she was like, "Oh well, I think you're gonna go to America in February." He's like, "How do you know?" She's like, and then he was like, "I'll call you," and she's like, "Yeah." Like, and they were just so cute. Unfortunately, Soyi is also part of that love triangle. Like, she also likes Yoonjae, who is not really interested in her, even though Soyi also won this competition, so she got to have like an iced Americano and some coffee with two guys that she chose, and she chose Yoonjae as one of them, and she really likes him. But
I think Soyi is probably the opposite of Youngjae's type, because Youngjae said he values wisdom, and I do think she has a lot of wisdom, but the way she comes off of is like kind of a little bit childish in the way that she speaks, and you know, I just don't see them being very compatible. I think she leans very much into the like cutesy persona, and I don't know if that's necessarily her true personality.
She said it's not. I mean, she said like, I know I'm being awkward. I thought she was quite self-aware. She was like, I know I'm being too shy and awkward, and this is not really who I am, but I don't know how to like come out of that.
Yeah, exactly. And I hope she comes out of it a little bit more and gets to show her true personality and gets to have more conversations with the guys, which I think she's already improving after she was like winning that challenge and then having deeper conversations with the two guys that she chose.
Oh yeah, and was she the one who had the conversation with Yoonjae about his report?
Yeah.
Okay, she was so supportive because Yoonjae here, our boy Yoonjae, chose to read a report about alternative foods, like literally a report. And he brought it to the island. Everyone was like, what are you reading? He's like, yeah, I thought a book would be too long, so I just brought this report. And Soyi was like so nice about it. Whereas, which I thought was really cute, Sil-eun was like, why did you bring a report? And she laughed, and it was really cute.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So I guess we can just go through the girls. That's basically what we're doing. Nadine likes Dongwoo. And, you know, we all thought this was like a done thing. They were going to go to paradise together. Nadine actually talked to Dongwoo like one-on-one in a water date. Because all they have to drink is water. And expressed her feelings. What did you think about that scene?
I thought that was really brave of her. I'm glad that she pulled him aside and was like, hey, I know, you know, like you've been really nice to me and I just didn't want to seem really cold because I wasn't answering your questions that quickly. And she made her feelings pretty clear to him.
Very clear.
And then I felt like he also reciprocated because he was like, oh, like, he mentioned going to paradise a lot and then like eating the food there. Yep. And it just made me think, and probably made Nadine think, that he was going to pick her.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everyone thought so. Even the commentators on the show. Like, why would you say that? And then, I mean, not to spoil her, but like, he didn't end up picking her. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. And I think what I really liked about Nadine is afterwards, she was pretty shocked and she was upset. And she did like an individual interview where one person was like, oh, like, are you like upset? Are you like angry about the situation? And she was like, no. And then she thought about it and she's like, yeah, actually I am. I am upset about this.
Yeah, she's like very honest. And yeah, I mean, I don't know why Dongwoo didn't pick her. Nadine did say, she was like, I'm not the type to like date around. Like if I'm interested in one person, I'm only interested in that one person. And I feel like maybe that scared Dongwoo off or something. That's the only thing I can think of because, you know.
I can agree with that. And I also think that maybe he wanted the person that was a little bit more like mysterious. The other thing is maybe Nadine's Korean isn't like as good, so maybe they wouldn't be able to have like too much more conversation at paradise, whereas he would be really able to speak with Seok-hee when he gets to paradise with her.
Yeah, so spoiler alert, not really, but Dongwoo was picked by 3 girls and chose Seok-hee. Wait, not chose Seok-hee. No, not Seok-hee. Chose by Seo-eun, who I love them actually, right?
No.
Wait, I'm so confused. I thought she was going...
No, you got it switched up. So Dongwoo picked Seok-hee and Seok-hee picked Dongwoo, and they're going to paradise together. And then Nadine picked Dongwoo, but he didn't reciprocate. So Nadine
who was she going with?
Staying back. Youngjae is the guy who got picked by 3 girls.
Oh shit, my bad.
So Youngjae got picked by Sejong, who we saw in the beginning, and then also got picked by So-lee and also So-eun. So all of them picked him, and he ended up picking kind of the black horse of everyone, So-eun.
That is so true. But she did give him that advice talk.
Yeah.
Right
I think that really sealed the deal. It was also kind of cute earlier in the episode. They were both wearing the same shade of blue.
Oh my god, during that talk, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think she mentioned like, oh, like we kind of look like a couple because they were wearing like matching couple outfits. So I thought that was really adorable.
Yeah.
And then he was having a really hard time making a decision about who to go with and who to choose. And they kind of just happened upon each other and was talking about it. And she gave him really good advice because she said that she's going to pick someone that like she wants to get to know more of. Like maybe she hasn't really talked to them very much, but I don't know much about them, so I want to pick them. And I feel like that gave Youngjae kind of that same idea, like, oh, like I'm really comfortable with this girl. He wanted someone who's really easy to talk to, and he had no problems talking to her. Yeah. And this would be a great chance to get to know her.
Also, she is, I think, very wise.
I agree.
Going back to the wisdom, like he really like knows his type.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 couples are going to paradise, and I'm really, really intrigued to see what will happen next episode. Because there's also a new person coming in who's a guy.
Oh, that's so exciting.
So it'll be 5 guys and 5 girls.
Yeah.
And I wonder, like, if I were Nadine and Dongwoo didn't pick me, I would, like, choose someone else. You know what I mean? Like, because she said she focuses on one person at a time.
I agree.
So I feel like if she's like, oh, he's not in, then I'll start looking elsewhere.
I think that is what's going to happen. I can see that for her. And I don't want her to hang on Dongwoo because I think he's like being nice to her and asking her questions, but it does seem like he's more interested in Seok-hee. So I just want to make sure Nadine like opens her eyes to other people too.
Yeah, I agree. Some funny moments. So I had some funny moments that I thought that I had written down because I feel like there are moments where I just like laugh, but it's just because it's awkward, not necessarily because it's supposed to be funny. Oh my god, this was one of them. So in the morning, they all like get milk to drink in these cups, right? It was milk, and the guys are just chugging them like they one gulp for the entire thing.
I remember.
I was like, what the hell?
It was the four guys, and then Nadine came over, so she joined in on their like they either chose milk or orange juice, and they were chugging it like it was like their last drink in the world.
It was so funny. I was like, y'all can just take sips, like you don't have to chug it. And then my other, oh my god, I thought this was really funny too. So Dongwoo was talking to Silky at the table, and Silky was like, oh, I can't believe you recognized me, like I didn't have any makeup on. And he goes, of course I recognized you. There's not that many people here.
It is actually interesting because all the guys like woke up really early and then were like working out, and then you don't really see any of the girls.
Yeah.
And then they come out when it's breakfast time with all of their makeup on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just so sad that they have to put in so much effort to like do makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my last funny moment was, I forget who this was, but he was like with Nadine and I think Seo, which is so funny because they're both like shy. But anyways, he was like, oh, watch this. I know how to do this. This is a boomerang. And he threw it. And then Nadine was like, where is it? I thought I was going to come back. Isn't it a boomerang? He's like, no. Do you remember who that guy was?
I don't remember, but I remember the scene.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. Do you have any funny moments?
Honestly, I thought there were a ton of funny moments. I just don't remember all of them.
Oh,
I wrote
okay.
down a couple of comments about
yes.
why the guys were like popular. Why I thought Yoonjae was popular. I
Yeah.
noticed that he really pays attention to little details and like conversations that he has with these girls. Like he was talking to Soe and he was complimenting her on her earrings.
Oh, yeah.
And like he just like has noticed like small things about like different people, and so it seems like to a girl, if somebody complimented my earrings and like really noticed those like little details I put into my outfit, I feel like, oh, maybe this guy is interested in me,
right,
because he noticed all these like small things.
Yeah, I agree. We're gonna have to edit out this.
No, I know.
This
We can
pause.
also try again. Who knows?
No, we're not. Okay, so if you were picking one of the guys, who would you pick?
I would probably also pick Yoonjae. I'm gonna be the fourth girl that picked him.
Oh my god, I do like Yoonjae's look, honestly. I don't like Jungwoo's look that much. I don't know why, because they kind of look similar, but yeah.
And I guess the other guy I would pick is Hanbin, because
Yeah.
I thought he's like super smiley and nice.
I
He
really
can
like his
cook.
personality.
Yeah, he seems like a really like open guy. I don't know why none of the girls chose him. I was kind of shocked by that, because he
know.
seemed like such a good guy. But maybe I'll just take some time for the girls to get to know him a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like also he's the most like outgoing, and maybe they just aren't that into outgoing, which I guess is a thing because people like mysteriousness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's more of like an open book.
Yeah,
So I
can
think
see
that might also play into it. But I really like him too, definitely. Although I did see that Dongwoo is like really good at conversations, which
Yeah.
you only see during like small snippets that they show you.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Okay.
What about the girl? If you were a guy, which girl would you choose?
Well, I love So-eun. Like, I think her personality and her looks are amazing. I also really like Nadine, but she is very awkward. And, like, I feel like you almost have to be, like, an older brother type, which maybe is what Dongwoo is feeling.
I can feel that, yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like he probably is an older brother.
Oh, let's talk about ages and careers. Who do you
Okay.
think is, like, we already kind of talked about the oldest ones. Who do you
Yeah.
think is youngest?
Youngest for the girls, I think either Soe or Nadine.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell because I feel like Nadine's personality is very young. And she does seem very young. Yeah,
I
maybe.
think Zoe is probably older than Nadine. I think So-eun is probably on the older side.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't really tell in terms of Sejong and Seolki. I think they're kind of in the middle.
Yeah. I think Sejong and Seolki seem very self-assured. Yeah. And then for the guy, who do you think is the youngest?
I know we said that Hanbin is probably older because he lives alone and like cooks and stuff, but he also gives me like really young energy too.
Yeah.
So I can also, cause I don't know, he seems like a golden retriever type guy.
For sure, yeah.
And because of that energy, I can see him just being on the younger side. But I think that's just his personality.
I really don't know because looks-wise, I feel like they're all kind of similar.
Yeah,
and I can't
I
gauge.
agree. I can't really tell. I think maybe I would put my bets on Jungwoo being the youngest.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But again,
Yeah,
I could be
know.
very wrong.
Like, I feel like Yoonjae looks very young, but the fact that he's looking for wisdom seems very wise.
Yeah, and the fact that he's reading a report about alternative foods.
Yeah, I don't know. So we'll see, I guess, what happens.
So my money's still on Jungwoo.
Yeah. Okay, any other notes that you have that you wanted to share?
No, I'm just really excited about who is gonna, like, the two couples that are going to paradise and then coming back. Are they gonna stay together?
I don't think so.
Or is someone gonna pry them apart?
Okay, I'm already not feeling Dongwoo and whoever is Silky. I don't think they're gonna last.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure about them.
Who's the other couple again?
Yeonjae and Seoeun.
Okay, I like them. I
think
they last.
I think Yeonjae and Seoeun could last because I see Seoeun as being Yeonjae's type. And we'll just have to see what happens when they go to paradise and reveal their ages and occupations.
I'm so excited. I mean, honestly, I feel like last year weren't most of them like models and fitness people?
Yeah. You know what I found really funny?
What?
All of them introduce themselves and they say like, oh, you know, whenever I like a guy, they usually like me back.
I know. Like, I was like, y'all are so conceited. But then I was like, do you think that the cast like asked them leading questions to say that?
I think so, because I think they all said really similar things.
Yeah.
Even the guys, they're like, oh yeah, I'm usually really popular.
Oh my god, this one guy, literally, who was this? Oh, Yoonjae. I literally wrote this down because he wrote, thinks he's popular with girls. I mean, he is, I'm sure. But like, and then he also, I think he's the guy who, like, he said his classmates voted him, like, to have broad shoulders or something.
That was really, like, odd and interesting. And I also don't think his shoulders are the most broad. Oh, there was this scene. Okay, this other scene I thought was really funny. When they were gonna play the game, so the girls came out first, right? And they were wearing shorts and like their like tops and stuff. And then the guys start coming out and they were shirtless and had some shorts on. And the girls' faces, they were just like, oh my shirtless guys. And what I noticed, because I definitely paid very close attention to their bodies. I paused the screen and I was like, ooh, who's like the most ripped?
For the sake of our podcast.
Exactly. And so I was like, oh, interesting.
Who was it?
So the person that I thought that had least abs was Yoonjae, who I don't think were...
Well, he did say he's not an athlete.
He's not an athlete, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, and then who did you think was the most ripped?
I think Dongwoo had a lot of abs.
Oh, okay, noted.
But I also don't think the body is the most important, because obviously personality overrules everything.
And face.
Agreed. If you have a cute face, you can get away with a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the other thing is, like, obviously I'm sure many of these people have had plastic surgery done, but I thought for the most part it was very tasteful, and you can't really tell.
I can't really tell. I felt like last season I was like, oh, I think some of them for sure. But this season, I think they all look very natural.
Okay, so I think Jungwoo has shit done, and that's why I think he looks off to me.
I agree.
Oh my god!
I agree.
You know when there's like robots or like images of people and they're just like a little bit off and you're like, something's alien.
I think
that's what his face
think,
is.
I think he definitely had a nose job.
Yes. And maybe eyes.
Yeah, I agree. Because sometimes when he smiles, his nose crinkles in a way that looks a little bit odd.
I don't like it.
Yeah, he looked a little bit more plastic to me.
I also definitely think Silky has had work done, and probably Sejun.
Yeah, that I'm not sure. I feel like Nadine probably hasn't.
No,
looks
because she
very
also
natural.
said that she was natural.
Yeah.
She literally said she was
did
natural.
say that. Mhm.
Her and Seo-eun, but I didn't know if... I think Seo-eun looks very natural.
I think so too.
Yeah. But I couldn't tell if she went natural as in her personality. Because then she was like, I put people at ease. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Anyways, any last thoughts before we wrap up this episode?
No, I think that was a great recap.
Okay, well, thank you everyone
Yay.
for listening.
Thank you for listening.
We will definitely be back next week as soon as possible with episodes 3 and 4.
Ooh.
Woo!
Stay tuned.
Do, 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 do.